Hi, I'm Meredith DeRenzo, Chief Operating Officer for Girl Scouts of Kentuckiana. Today, we're going to go through step 1 of the Senior Car Care Badge. We're going to learn about how to check your tire pressure and look at wear. We're going to learn how to use jumper cables to start your car in the event that your battery goes dead. We're going to learn about the essential fluids of the car and how to check them. And we're also going to learn about air filters. Lauren Wheatley, Manager of Girl Experience, is going to teach us how to change our windshield wipers. It's important to make sure that your tires are properly inflated. To do so, you can check on the inside of your car. Right here, there's a label inside the door jamb that's going to talk about pounds per square inch. And as you can see, it's super small on my car, but it says pounds per square inch, or PSI, should be 33 on my front tires and 33 on my back tires. So now that we know what the manufacturer recommends on pound per square inch, let's go back and look at one of the tires. It's also important to note that each manufacturers of tires, they do put their max pounds per square inch on the tires, but it's probably best to go with what's inside your door jamb because that's the best PSI for your individual car. So what you're going to need to check your tire pressure is a tire gauge. This is a manual one. It's kind of old school. There definitely are more fancy ones that are out that are digital, but I kind of like these ones. The battery never goes dead on these. So you're going to unscrew your cap. Don't lose it. Make sure you put it next to your tire. And then you're going to just put this open end here on your tire valve. And then we're going to see it shoot straight out. All right, when you get a good seal, it's going to pop out your gauge. And this says that I have 32 pounds per square inch. So I'm about 1 pound per square inch shy, which is okay. If I'm detrimentally low, most cars nowadays have a tire pressure monitor indicator, which is a mechanism inside your car that will let you know if your tire pressure is too low. Temperature fluctuations can make those go off. So in the winter, it can be especially tricky, like when we transition between fall and winter. These will almost always trigger the tire pressure monitors to go off just because the temperature changes, which means there's less air in your tires. So super easy fix. Go up to your local gas station. A lot of gas station pumps have tire machines that actually have gauges on them, so you don't even have to have one, which is super handy. And then do the same thing we just did. Take the valve off. Put your your air machine on the valve here, and then fill it up to your maximum PSI as recommended by your car. Always make sure that you replace these. You don't want your valve stems to get rusty. So if you notice that your car is missing a valve stem cover, you can easily go to an AutoZone or any car care store and buy a new one to replace it. Okay, next we're going to talk about tire tread and tire wear. So one thing that car care professionals are going to tell you is you want to make sure that you rotate your tires regularly. Regular intervals are generally every other oil change or every 6,000 miles, and that's important just to make sure that that your tires are wearing appropriately and then it's a balanced wear. And so when you want to check your wear, these are brand new tires, so as you can see the tread on them looks brand new because they're about 2, maybe 3 months old. Some newer tires come with their own tread wear indicators. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a little ridge in here that when the tire tread gets down to this little ridge, that means that the tires need to be replaced. It's important to note as well that it is illegal and dangerous to drive around on tires that have insufficient tire tread. Another thing that you can do is you can take a quarter. Let's see, I've got my quarter upside down. You can see the top of George Washington's head. That's the minimum amount of tread that you should have. So if your tire tread, if you put it in here and you line it up next to your tire tread, just like that, and you can see the very top of George Washington's head, if you need to start replacing those tires or go to a professional and have them evaluated. So again, I just want to reiterate that it's extremely dangerous to drive around on bald tires, especially in the kind of weather that we have here in Kentuckiana, where it rains and it snows, and so just be safe. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about all deals with things underneath the hood, but it's important to know how to pop your hood. So inside your car, you want to look for a little icon that looks like the hood and the front is open, and you're just going to pull it towards you. Most cars have it generally in this space, but definitely investigate yours so that you know exactly where to find it. Okay, so now that we've popped our hood from the inside, we need to unlatch it from the outside, because if you're able to do this, see, it's not going anywhere. So you want to reach up underneath your hood, and you want to find a little lever that you're going to pull up on, and then your hood's going to open. These levers are in lots of different places, so you're going to have to play around a little bit because they're not necessarily in the center. Some car hoods have a mechanism that you would just push it up and it would stay up. Mine does not. Mine requires you to put this arm in this hole to make sure it does not come crashing down on your head. Okay, so in our mock scenario here, we have a dead battery because maybe I left the light on or the door ajar. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to pop our hood, and then we're going to locate our battery. As you can see in this car, here's your negative, here's your positive. Each battery has one. In this car, it's got a little something extra in that to connect the cable, you actually, instead of connecting it here where normal cars would do it, mine connects right there. So you would just put your pinchers on that way, and then go to the car that you were receiving the jump from. So as you see, this one just has a little cover, nothing extra fancy like the other car, and you would just grab these and you would just connect it just like that. And then you would come back to the other car, and you would take the black or the negative and you would ground it on a metal piece in your car, just like right there. And then on this one, you're actually going to connect your black to your black. Okay, so you have all your connections. You have the car receiving the jump is grounded. You got your reds to your reds. Now you're going to start the car that's giving you the jump, and it'll pump juice and power through the cables. Let it run for a few minutes, and then you can go to your car and attempt to start it. Once you do start your car after you jump it, you do not want to turn it off. You want to let it run for several minutes, and in fact even go take a drive and let the power continue to work in the car before you turn it off, or there's a really good chance if you don't do that your car battery will die again. Okay, one thing that I failed to mention earlier was that you want to make sure that you have your hair pulled back when you're underneath the hood of your car, so that your hair does not accidentally get caught up in any of the moving pieces and parts. So next we're going to go into some of our essential fluids. I'm going to go through and point them out and then talk a little bit more about them. So one of the most essential fluids is your engine oil. You should have your oil change every 3,000 miles, or as recommended by your car manufacturer. There's also washer fluid. We've got coolant here, and then this one back here is your brake fluid, but that generally doesn't get checked often. So let's talk about how to check our engine oil. So this has a dipstick on it. So you're going to grasp it, you're going to pull it out, you're going to wipe it off, and then you're stick it back in to get an accurate reading. And then we're going to pull it back out. And then as you can see, our oil should be up to this line, and it is. And so it looks like we're good. If you start looking low on oil, that could be an indicator that you need an oil change or you need to add oil. Make sure that you consult with a car care professional to make sure that you're putting the right type of engine oil in there, because it's not a one size fits all. Next is your windshield wiper fluid. This is super simple to add. And it's actually this one has kind of a funnel feature here, which you would just pour it in here in the winter. You can get a windshield wiper fluid that has de-icer in it, which is super helpful when your windshield starts to get iced up. So you can just add it right here, and you can even see, if you look inside there, how much is actually in there. So our next one is our coolant, and coolant helps keep the engine cool. Do not just add anything into this, and it's definitely not water that's added in here. So again, consult with your car care professional to make sure that you have the right mix that you're putting into your coolant. Next thing we're going to do is talk about your air filters. So you have a cabin air filter, which is found inside of your car, and you have the engine air filter, which is found right in here. So hopefully yours is easy to get to, but definitely important to know where it is. This is where mine is located. There are two little brads in here that I need to pop off, and then I'm going to pull it up. And as you can see, right inside here is an air filter. I've recently had my oil changed and my air filter replaced. So as you can see, It's got a couple little debris in there, but this is what basically a clean one would look like. So you want to make sure that you use the manufacturer recommended size, because they're not all the same, but you would just pop it back in there, close this back up. Make sure you're securing it all back the way you found it. And now you have changed your engine air filter. Okay, so next we're going to change our cabin filter. So cabin filters are a little tricky to find, definitely not as easy as your engine filter. So you can be found in your glove box. Do make sure that you consult your owner's manual. I've already pulled out one of the fasteners, which was over here. There's one more fastener to pull out. Make sure that you put those on the floor so that you don't lose them, and then you'll see you have a whole other space back here. So you want to remove the plate that sits on top of or in front of your air filter, and then you can start to work the air filter out. As you can see, my air filter definitely needs to be changed. And then if I were to change it, so I would put a new one in, make sure that you are using your manufacturer recommended sizing for your car. You want to change it, you're going to put it back in, and then reassemble everything just the way that you found it. Okay, so we talked about how to check your tire pressure and how to look at your tire tread. Now we're going to talk really briefly about what happens when you get a flat tire. So as what happened to me a couple months ago, I got a flat tire, and so I went, most tires are stored back here in the trunk. So you're going to empty everything out of your trunk, and then you should be able to pull everything up, and your spare tire is stored right here. And as you can see, there is no spare tire in my car. Instead, my car comes with a Fix-A-Flat kit. So a Fix-A-Flat kit uses a chemical compound and a compressor to repair the tire from the inside, which will buy you enough time to get back on the road safely and to a tire repair store. So there are cars who actually have donuts. It's important to know a donut is a tire, but it is smaller than a normal tire. It's important to know there are speed restrictions on donuts or spare tires, so you cannot get on the freeway and expect to go the speed limit of 60 miles an hour. You will have to go slower. Dude, make sure that you inspect your car and know well in advance whether or not you have a Fix-A-Flat or if you have an actual spare tire.
Hi everybody, it's Lauren. I'm going to show you how to change your windshield wiper blades today. It's important that you keep your windshield wiper blades working properly for visibility during rain and snow. So first of all, how do you know which ones you need? You can go into your local auto parts store or big box store, and in the automotive section they will have a computer, and you can put in the make and model and year of your car, and it will give you the correct number for the part that you need. So mine are C1706, so I'm going to go ahead and change this one first. So your windshield wipers come straight up like this, and to get the blade off, there's a little release button here, and you push that, and you might want to pull, but you actually push to get the old wiper blade off. Okay, so this is your new blade, and the first thing you're going to do is make sure that you remove this plastic cover. You just pull that off. If you don't do that, they're not going to work correctly. You just toss that in the garbage, and to put this on, you do the opposite motion that you did before. Another important thing to remember, while you have your blade off, do not let this part slam back into your windshield because it could crack it. Okay, so you want to make sure that goes down gently. So the next thing I'm going to do is take off the protective cover. The windshield wiper blades don't work with this on here. So I'm going to peel that off, and then we're going to throw this away. Okay, so when you go to put your new blade on, you basically want to be perpendicular to the arm. Put it in like this, and then turn it back toward the arm, and you're going to pull it forward until it clicks. And when it clicks, you know that it's on there. And that's how you change your windshield wiper blades. Good luck.